Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my Dark Knights. Welcome back to a new tier ranking system here on the Bat Brand channel. Now, what I'm going to do here today, we're sticking with the NFL theme. The NFL season literally starts this Thursday with my Chicago Bears versus the Green Bay Packers. And I thought, what better way than to rank where I think win-wise a lot of these teams are going to end up at, give or take, and if I think they're going to make the playoffs, and then I will give my Super Bowl prediction. My early season, my way too early Super Bowl prediction. Now, how it's going to work is, these are my opinions, so if you guys have different opinions, that's fine. It's the NFL. It's football. Everyone has different opinions when it comes to certain teams, especially if you're fans of these certain teams as well. So, of course, I'm biased of one of these teams, but I'm going to try and be fair, as fair as I can be. Now, these are my opinions, as I said. If you have different opinions, let me know what your Super Bowl your two teams that you're putting in the Super Bowl is. You don't have to give me a victor, just two teams that you think are going to make the Super Bowl this year, or who you think is gonna win out or go to and make it to the playoffs, anything like that. But anyway, we're gonna jump right into this, and also I did want to say, if you guys do enjoy these and want me to do more of them, let me know. I do want to do one with the wide receivers as well before the season starts. If not during the season, that's fine. But once the season starts, after each week, I'm going to do my NFL week in review. I'm going to see if I can do it live on my phone, on my NFL mobile app, which I think I can. If I can, that would be great. I'd be very, very happy about that. Or I'll just go over the games and different stuff like that, as well. Or even on my ESPN app, that's fine. Because I don't know how they changed the NFL app to a point where they may have showed highlights throughout the video and you can't take them off. So we're going to start off this thing here with the Cleveland Browns. Now, the Cleveland Browns did stack up with a lot of guys in the offseason. Kareem Hunt, yes, I know he's suspended, but him and Nick Chubb are going to be very, very good. The emergence of Baker Mayfield, Odell Beckham Jr., getting Olivier Vernon as well. That defense is already fantastic. And then, of course, Jarvis Landry, that's also already there and established. This team's going to be interesting to watch. Freddie Kitchens is an interesting... Sorry, I had an itch on my beard. They're going to be an interesting offense to watch. Now, defensively, they've been good the last couple years defensively. Now, I'm going to move them up to... Do I think they can win 13 games? First year with this offense, I'm going to say, I think they can win 11 games. I think they can win 11 games in that division. I mean, the only team I think that's really there to challenge, well, you know what? They do play in a tough division. They do play in a tough division. They do. I think I'm going to give them just at 11 wins. Just at 11. Now, even though it says 11 to 13 wins, does not mean that I think they can win more. Like, there's some teams, I think they can win like 14 games this year. 15, maybe even go undefeated if they play that way. But I don't... It's very rare to see a team go undefeated or even... I think the most losses we had last year of a team was 3 or 4. So, I think the highest seeds were both 4-loss teams. The Rams, And I think the Patriots. I think wasn't the Patriots. It was the Chiefs. The Chiefs lost 3 games, and the Rams lost 4. No, the Rams had to play. Who was the number 1 seed in the NFC? It wasn't Dallas. It was the Saints. It was the Saints. They were 12-4. But yeah, I honestly think they can get 11 wins. But it's going to be tough in that division because they do have the Ravens, who Lamar Jackson is still there. Will he lead them to a playoff seed? I don't know. And the Steelers are still the Steelers. But I honestly do think they're going to win that division. The Browns are going to win that division. I know, shocking that I'm saying that, but I think they're going to win that division. Next, we move on to, and I will say it if I think they're a playoff team or not, because obviously you can't see it. San Francisco, they're just a head scratcher. I know Jimmy G's back. Jimmy Garoppolo back does make a difference, but I think at best, they're a 5-6 win team. They need more. And I need to see them have more. Their offense is good, but just Jimmy G looks a little rusty. I think we're going to see the rust of Jimmy G in this season, and that defense is not as good as people talk about. San Francisco is going to end the year at 6-10 or maybe even 7-9. I would give them, and I'm going to be generous and only going to give them 6 wins, especially with them in a division with the Rams and now the Seahawks. With some of the moves they made recently, is going to be interesting. Next, we have the Patriots. I hate the Patriots. I think they're going to have some trouble this year with the Jets getting better, the Bills getting better. The Dolphins are definitely going to tank. I'm going to talk about that later. Why? Because some trades happened and cuts happened or something like that proved that the Dolphins are committed to getting the first overall pick and tanking this year. So, Patriots, they're still the Patriots. Until they prove me wrong, they still are able to win at least 11 games. It's still a possibility. Now, I think they're going to lose more games than what they did last year because the Jets got a lot better. If Darnold performs and has a breakout year, I really do think they can compete there. And then the Buffalo Bills. Their defense looks amazing. Josh Stallion is going to have some weapons for the first time in his career. But the offense is going to be a little iffy other than that. But still, it's going to be interesting to watch. I still think the Patriots will make it to the playoffs at least. Next, we got the Panthers. It's hard to tell with the Panthers what team you're going to get. Now, Cam Newton is in a walking boot, but it's not that serious. I think he'll still play, but that concerns me because that tells me that one bad hit and he's done, and Will Grier, you're in. I think, to be honest, they were a playoff team last year. Were the Panthers? Yes, the Panthers were a playoff team last year. This year, I don't think they're going to be. I think they're just going to finish middle of the road, I think. But I'll give them 9 wins. But they will not 9 or 10, and I don't think they'll make the playoffs. I don't think they'll make the playoffs in that stacked NFC this year. The Steelers, they have a tough schedule this year. They do. They play the Rams. They play the Seahawks. They do even play the 49ers and the Cardinals. And in their AFC side, they do play some tough teams this year as well. In the likes of I think the Colts division, I think they play this year. But the Colts are going to be an easy win. Do I want to give them 11 wins? The Steelers are still the Steelers. They find ways to lose, and I think they're going to falter without Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell. Granted, Le'Veon wasn't there last year, and they still did stuff. But Antonio Brown was, and he's gone, and Juju's your only really, really good receiver. I think they're going to falter maybe a little bit, but they're still going to make the playoffs. I can see them making the playoffs as a wild card and maybe being a dangerous team to upset somebody in the wild card round. Say if they have to face a team like the Browns, I can see them beating them. And then going into New England and maybe even beating them. Who knows? They are an interesting team. All of them are at this point in time. Then the Vikings. Vikings offense is still really good. Their defense is really good. The question mark is Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is not a... He's showed me... The end of last season and preseason has showed me he's still not that great of a quarterback, in my eyes. But do I think their defense can lead him to some wins? Yes. I can give them 9 to 10 wins. I think that's a possibility. Do I think they're going to win the division? No. I think they're probably going to be the second. I think they're going to be on the outside looking in, though. I think they are because what this next team I'm going to talk about did to their defense recently is really going to boost their defense. And I think will really boost them because they needed a good pass rusher and they got one. And their offense is going to be interesting to watch, especially, is the Seattle Seahawks. They are definitely going to... I can see them winning 11 games this year. I can. And winning that division. But the Rams are still the Rams, and I can see them getting one of those wild card spots. One sec, I'm sorry about that. One of those wild card spots as well, because Seattle looks interesting. They got Jadeveon Clowney in a trade recently from the Texans. And it's going to be an interesting team to watch, especially on defensively, if Jadeveon Clowney can do what he did in the Texans uniform. Is going to be very interesting. He is going from the AFC to the NFC. There's much better offensive lines in the NFC than the AFC. So we'll see how that goes. Next, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. They are one of my favorites to win the AFC this year. I think they can win 13 games. Maybe they're going to falter a little bit. I don't think they're going to win 14 games again. Pat Mahomes is still amazing. He had an amazing MVP year last year. And I think he'll lead them to I can see a 12-4 season in their future and a number 1 seed in the AFC again. But they're going to be challenged this year by another team that made a lot of moves recently, and we'll talk about them later. But then a team that's in the middle of the pack. This team's good offensively, but defensively they're atrocious. Atrocious. I can't say the word. Atrocious. Whatever. The Lions. Kerryon Johnson is an amazing back. I love him in fantasy. Matthew Stafford is just, he turns the ball over too much. They're right in the middle. They maybe get 7, maybe 8 wins. I can see them finishing 8-8, and that's just because I'm going to be nice. Next, we got the Eagles. They are one of the contenders in the NFC for that championship for the NFC. Now, do I think they're going to falter a little bit? Maybe. The NFC is crowded, and there's only allowed a certain amount of teams are allowed in the playoffs, so this is going to be interesting to watch. But I'm going to put the Eagles up to 11 wins. I think they can make 11 wins and challenge another team in that division. It's going to be either or, to be completely honest, with the other team I'm going to talk about later. Next, well, welcome to the team that's going to finish last place this year, guys. Not the Baltimore Ravens, the Miami Dolphins. They dropped off a lot of players. Laremy Tunsil, gone. They got rid of Kenny Stills. They got rid of several other players as well. And Laremy Tunsil was their only good offensive lineman. So, and with him gone, that's telling me they're preparing for the future. They literally dumped everything away just for... Okay, yeah, and he... What the crap? One sec. There we go. Hey, welcome back. Sorry about that. Yeah, I just think that Kenyon Drake and Kalen Ballage are not gonna lead this team to 7-8 wins. It's not gonna happen. Then a team is rightfully so a team that should have been in the Super Bowl last year, not the Rams, is this team right here, the Saints. Actually, you know what? Let's put the Seahawks up there. I think Seahawks will be a little higher. The Saints, with Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara, and that amazing offense, is going to lead them to another great season yet again. Drew Brees always does it every year, and the Saints always do it. Sean Payton has led this team to more playoff berths in team history than any coach in Saints history, and I honestly think that he's going to do it again. He's going to do it again. They're going to be a contender. Do I think they're going to make it to the Super Bowl? You will find out later. Another team I think is a great Super Bowl contender with all the moves they made. Picking up Carlos Hyde, picking up Duke Johnson Jr., picking up Laremy Tunsil, and now Kenny Stills, is the Houston Texans. And I honestly think in the AFC Championship game, if Deshaun Watson can finally make it past those Patriots and win more than one playoff game, it's going to be the Texans and the Chiefs in the AFC title game. Mark my words. I honestly think it's going to happen. If not, I can see Texans and Patriots in the AFC title game as well. Another team I can see as... we're going to move on to the next team. Another team I think could have a good run but they're not, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs because of another team I'm going to talk about later, is the Atlanta Falcons. They're going to win 11 games, and oh, you know what? I'm thinking about this now, and you know what? Their defense, I'm going to move them down. They're going to be close. They're going to be 10 wins, but they're not going to make it. Their defense is improved, but it isn't as great as their offense. Their offense is amazing. Their offense is just absolutely amazing. And them getting Devontae Freeman back just makes it even more powerful. I do think you're going to have to see a good season out of this offense, but their defense is going to end up screwing them over again. And they are in a very tough division. And with the crowded NFC, I don't think they're going to make it to the playoffs. I don't. Now, the next team I want to talk about is the Baltimore Ravens. They're too inconsistent. I love Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson's going to take that jump this year. But defensively, they lost too many pieces. Defensively. But I still think they can win 10 games and be right there in a mix. Possibly even a playoff seed. We'll see. Now get ready for some bad teams because we're going to see a run here of them. The Tennessee Titans, right in the middle of the pack. Marcus Mariota looks terrible. And they picked up Ryan Tannehill to challenge him. And it looks like what's going to happen is, if Mariota doesn't perform, Tannehill's going to get the job. Tannehill's going to be given the reins and say, here you go, Tannehill. Do what you can. They are still work in progress. Defensively, they're still a really good team. Offensively, they still are working on some stuff. I think they're right in the middle. I think they'll finish 7-9 or 8-8. Then the Giants. Saquon Barkley's New York Giants. Listen, Eli Manning, this is the end of the road for you, my friend. This is the end of the road for you. Your defense is not the best. Your offense is absolutely terrible other than Barkley. I'm going to give him 4 wins. The other team, which is unfortunate, I really would love to put this team higher, but with Andrew Luck retiring, I'm going to have to put them right. They were very high. They were playoff contenders. They were maybe even Super Bowl contenders if they added a couple more pieces. But for me, they're going to drop right back down, and we're going to see them at 5-11 or 6-10. Jacoby Brissett, we're going to see what you got, my boy. Can he lead them to 8-8, maybe 9-7? Good question. I don't know about that. Now, another team that I don't think is going to do that good, still work in progress there, is the Arizona Cardinals. Their defense is good with them having Chandler Jones on one side, T-Sizzle, a.k.a. Terrell Suggs, on the other side. But Patrick Peterson's out for a while. And them not having him for a while, their offensive line is god-awful. David Johnson's not going to have any running room. He's going to be catching the ball a lot. And Kyler Murray is going to be running for his life. 4 wins. 4 wins. And I know a lot of people are like, how dare you? They're going to be great this year. Look at their roster. Look at their schedule. They're in a great division. Give it a couple more years. It's a work in progress. Then the Green Bay Packers. As a Bears fan, I hate the Packers. I really, really do. But, okay, Packers. We're talking about the Packers. Okay. Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers is back. But Randall Cobb was his security blanket. And he's gone. He's in Dallas. It has a lot of young receivers behind Davante Adams. Because he has Davante Adams, say Geronimo Allison, Valdez Scantling, and he still has Jimmy Graham, and the defense is very much improved. But from everything I hear and see in reports, there's a lot of turmoil. Aaron Rodgers does not like Matt LaFleur's offense. I think there's going to be some problems in paradise. But I will give them 9 wins. I will give them 9 wins. And that's all I'm going to say about that. That cringes me having to talk about the Green Bay Packers. It really, really does. Really, really does. Next, we're going to talk about this team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bruce Arians is a new coach in Tampa. Do I think he's going to lead them back to a playoff berth? It's a possibility. But their defense is still terrible. And it puts them at 8-8. Then my Chicago Bears. Let's talk about my Bears for a second. The defense is amazing. Okay, the defense is amazing. The offense is, Matt Nagy being an offensive guru, and we were still very lower in offensive production. I think that's going to change this year. David Montgomery and Tariq Cohen are going to do some damage this year. I really want Allen Robinson to finally make the jump. It all comes down, though, to what Mitchell Trubisky does this year. Does he continue his breakout like he did last year, or does he go back down? I think he will continue going back up, and I will give them the division title again, but a tight division title again against the Vikings, and give it to them at 11-5. Next, we have the Bengals. The Bengals, 4 wins, maybe 3. I don't give them many. I'm not gonna. I don't think they're going to do very well. Joe Mixon could lead them to a few wins, but their offensive line is terrible. Andy Dalton, it looks the worst he's ever looked. And A.J. Green's hurt. Again, I think this is the beginning of the end for the Bengals, and I think they're going to completely dump everybody off and start anew. But a team that does intrigue me is the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills, I think, are going to get 10 wins, 9 or 10 wins this season. I think they're going to get 10 wins. Because that defense is amazing. The secondary is great. They rush the quarterback. The defense could lead them to several wins this year. The only thing is, Josh Stallion, can he lead them to victories? Can he continue on that decent season he had last year and pole ball them forward? I think he can. And I think with no more LaShawn McCoy there either, because he is also gone. He's in Kansas City. And that's why I have them so high, because LaShawn McCoy, Damian Williams, and Darwin Thompson. And LaShawn McCoy had his best years as a player with Andy Reid. You're going to see a reemergence of LaShawn McCoy, I believe. Even though he is older, he's not going to be able to do all the things he used to do. But I think you're going to see a reemergence of him because of Andy Reid. Next, we're going to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars. Nick Foles was sent over there. Super Bowl MVP. Amazing postseason quarterback. He goes to Jacksonville with their great defense, which is still great, and their tumultuous offense. I really do love D.D. Westbrook this year. I think Leonard Fournette, he's not as great as everyone thinks he is, but I think he's going to try to bounce back. He's going to be throwing the ball a lot because the run game's just really not going to be there because Leonard Fournette doesn't run for many yards anymore. I don't know why. But I think, I'll be honest, I'm going to give Jacksonville 10 wins. I think Nick Foles can lead them to 10 wins, and it's a possibility. Now, if Nick Foles goes down, different story, but I think he can lead them to some wins. Next is the Washington Redskins. If Alex Smith was their quarterback and didn't hurt himself, I'd put them higher in these wins, but with him gone, Case Keenum being their starting quarterback, I think they're going to make the turn to Dwayne Haskins earlier than they need to. I really do think that you're going to maybe see 5, maybe 6 wins from this team. Okay. Yeah, it's just their defense is their best thing right now. And their offense is just a little, I don't know, for me. Next, we're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys, okay? Dallas has a good team. They really do. Their defense made a huge jump last year, and they won a playoff game, and They look good, but they just couldn't get past the Rams. And they got robbed against the Rams. They really did. Now, do I think they can make it back? It all comes down to what Zeke does. Is Zeke going to hold out anymore? They say he's going to sign a new contract. Supposedly soon. They did intensify negotiations. If he doesn't, they go down. But for me, I'll be honest, I think the Eagles are going to win the NFC East. But it's going to come down to that last game between the two of them. And I'm going to give them 10 wins and a wild card berth. And they're going to go to Philly and beat the Philadelphia Eagles in Philly. I honestly can see that happening. Next, we have the Broncos. We have the Broncos. Broncos are interesting. I'm going to give them 7 to 8 wins. I'm going to give them 7 to 8 wins. I do like I do like their defense. Their defense is very good still. But their offense, not so much. Joe Flacco at quarterback, I mean, it's good. It's a veteran presence, but he's just there for the time being to open the door for Drew Lock. And that's pretty much it. The Raiders is the next team I want to talk about. I think they're going to make a little bit of a jump. But I don't think it's going to be good enough to get them. I think they're going to finish 9-7 or 10-6. I think they're going to finish very, very well. John Gruden's got this team playing very well in year 2. I think you're going to see Derek Carr bounce back. And with Antonio Brown and all the offensive weapons they collected, they're going to be very good offensively. Defensively, their defense is still a question mark, but they did get LaMarcus Joyner. They got some other pieces, that Vontaze Burfict, some other defensive players as well, and they did stock themselves up very, very well. So I do think that if everything comes together for them, I can see them surprising some people, possibly getting a wild card berth, maybe, but I don't see that happening in the wild card for the AFC. Next, the team that I think is going to falter a little bit is the Super Bowl runner-up last year. And a team that really shouldn't have been there, the Los Angeles Rams. They're going to get 10 wins this year. Their offense is going to be really good, but they're just going to be the unfortunate people of circumstances. And I honestly think Todd Gurley's going to go down and they're going to get hurt and they're not going to be able to run the ball. And their offense is still going to be great. But I think their schedule that they got is going to be very difficult, and they're going to lose some games late because of it. And then, honestly, this team that I want to talk about next is my dark horse for the Super Bowl. Even though they lost Melvin Gordon, and he's probably going to get traded, I still put them very high because Austin Eckler, they're very blessed to have. And their defense is absolutely amazing. And Phillip Rivers, it's time for Phillip Rivers. It is. The Chargers. The Los Angeles Chargers, they're my dark horse to win the Super Bowl. Because they're a team that can make a run. They can really do that. Even without Melvin Gordon, Phillip Rivers knows how to throw the ball. He throws it very accurately. And I just think, honestly, they're the team that could upset some people come play at the time. Now, I know last year the same thing, and they ended up losing to the Patriots. But I don't think they were ready for that game. I really don't think they came in ready for that game. But then the last team I want to talk about is the New York Football Jets. I think they did add Le'Veon Bell. They added some other pieces to the Jets offense, or defense, I mean. But Sam Darnold, is he going to make that jump? I don't think he is. I think he may, but if he doesn't, yeah, it's just... But yeah, it's just the Jets, to be honest. I don't know what to think of them. I do think they're going to be all right, but Le'Veon Bell is going to have to really... But yeah, that's just how I feel about the Jets. And I'm going to go over what my playoff teams are going to be real quick. I did not want this to be a long video, and we're at 35 minutes now. In the NFC, I think we're going to have the Bears, the Saints, the Eagles, the Seahawks. Those are our 4 division winners. And then the 4 division winners in the AFC, I think we're going to have the Chiefs, the Patriots, the Texans, and the Browns. Then wild card, I think we're going to have... I honestly do think we're going to have... let me actually move them up. I think we're going to have... I didn't want to move them up. Oh, whatever. We're going to have wild card teams in the Chargers in the AFC, and the other AFC team that I think that's going to get a wild card berth is going to be... it's tough. This is tough. I'll give it to the Steelers. Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it to the Steelers. Just because their experience. But they could change. It's either going to be... I honestly think it's either Jacksonville or it's going to be the Steelers. Now, the other... now, going into that, I think my NFC Championship... My NFC Championship is going to be... I think it's going to be the Bears... and the Saints. And in the AFC, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs versus... It's tough. Either the Houston Texans. I think either Houston or the Chargers are going to upset the Patriots. And they are going to go to Kansas City to battle Pat Mahomes. And they're one of those two teams, I'll be honest, it's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. But I think the Saints are going to beat my Bears. And I think, I'll be honest, I think the Chargers, if it's the Chargers, Kansas City beats them. If it's the Texans, Kansas City will win. So, let's just say Chargers / Kansas City versus the Saints in the Super Bowl. Okay? And that's my Super Bowl. And I, honestly, to win it all, my Saints are the pick to win it all this year. Because Drew Brees, they should have been in the Super Bowl last year. And I honestly think they have a chip on their shoulder with that. But that has been the NFL win tier rankings and Super Bowl selections, predictions. If you guys did enjoy this, let me know. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Subscribe, all that jazz, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys in the next one. Stay awesome, my Dark Knights.